Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about complaining. So this is not one of my Chinese medical videos. This is one of my Happy Club videos, and I'm going to make this part a two-parter, and the free one, the first one is going to be the free one, and for those there's going to be solutions, but the bulk of it's going to be in the part two. But I'm going to give a lot of gems in this part one. So if you don't listen to anything else, I hope you get a lot of details on how to apply certain things so that you can achieve better results. And the topic we're going to talk about today is complaining. I'm hearing a lot of complaining these days, and every story I'm listening to, every person has a right to complain. Everyone has the right to complain. And I get it. For the people who are sharing their stuff about me, I get it. Your life is shitty. I understand that some really crappy stuff are going on. So I'm not going to undermine what's going on. When someone says they've got this particular disease, or so and so broke their heart, or someone passed away in their life, I get it. I have two friends this year that passed away. I get it. I have people in my life that have had some serious health issues, and not currently, and hopefully not anytime soon, but over 20 years ago, I had some serious health issues, and up until 15 plus years ago, many of those health issues still had to resolve, but many of them, it took me time, it took a lot of work, and I resolved those health issues. So time, money, and people, I know those are the issues that people have an issue with usually. Not enough time, the relationships are not all that great, money is not enough. The thing that I add to it is freedom and health. I'm an acupuncturist. This is my 20th year in practice. I see a lot of health issues. Someone came in today who had a stroke 3.5 years ago. And what I was sharing with this particular person was that I worked in 2 community medical clinics, 99, for about 1.5 years, and I would say 30+% of my patients were post-stroke patients, and also while I was an intern. So I've treated my share of massive post-stroke issues. So again, what do people mostly complain about? Time, issues with time, money, relationships, and health and freedom. Now let's just, instead of breaking down each and every one of those, because I talk about those in other videos, the reason why I'm making this free is because complaining is universal. Every person on this planet has a reason to complain. Right now I can think about 500 things to complain about, but you will not hear me complain about. I might joke around about certain things, but that's me kind of venting it, and then after about 5-10 minutes I'm laughing about it, because I'm not going to say I don't have any issues. Everyone has issues. I'm not going to sit here and pretend my life is perfect. No one has a perfect life, but it's how you respond to things. It's how you want to look at a situation, and it's how you want to frame it. So let's say, for example, I'll take one. You know what? This is my 3rd year owning a house, and right now my husband is seeing solutions towards really fully completing this massive project which we've had, which is this fixer-upper that we bought in 2015. He put a lot of work into it physically. His blood and sweat went into that house. He knew for a fact that he wanted to do it himself. I knew that I wouldn't be able to help him. And for 10 months, I didn't have, something happened within the first 2 weeks of buying the house, the slab broke. Long story short, and I won't go into the details, but for 10 months, I didn't have a stove. And instead of being pissed off about it, I looked at, I just, I didn't want to just, I don't want to say I just bear and grinned it. I looked at what I have, which is this beautiful house that we can turn into a gorgeous house and sell one day, because especially now since we're a bigger family. But I just saw it as an opportunity to cook in different ways. And, it does get old eating out, but I just got really creative on how to feed my family. At that time, a family of 4. And I don't remember being angry that I didn't have a stove. Now, I would say after about 10 months, I told my husband, you know what, I don't think you realize how patient I am. I think by now, some women, some wives would have already been threatening divorce. So I really would like a stove. Um, and he got me the stove. I'm cutting out a lot of details, but I think just that particular issue, I didn't complain about. Um, and that's something, I framed it in a way where I looked at what was going on in the house, where our priorities were, instead of getting angry about that. Someone brought up to me recently about some really bad things that her ex boyfriend did. And I won't go into detail here because I don't want to point out who this person could possibly be. And this is a common thread with people who've broken up. They're together, and it's rare that they just break up for no reason. Usually people break up for a multitude of reasons. What it comes down to is you're just not compatible. But it was the issues, the stuff that this dude did were just so bad. And it's very common with another patient of mine who has an ex-boyfriend, and he did some crappy stuff, and she just let him go. Now, if you're going to continue to feel angry about it or sad about it, and I get it because you really love this person, but if you're going to continue focusing on those emotions and focusing on what that person did bad, guess what you're going to continue getting? Life is a boomerang, and energy is a boomerang. The energy that you're putting out, the focus that you have towards that person and all the crappy stuff that they did, you're putting out this frequency, you're putting out these emotions, and the feelings are so strong, it's so raw, it's so real that you have no choice but to have the energy return to you the same level, if not higher. An apple seed cannot plant orange seeds. You cannot plant apple seeds, I should say, and then expect oranges. If you want oranges, you got to plant orange seeds. If you want apple seeds, if you want apples, then continue planting the apple seeds. So do you know what I mean by that? If you want these results, you're going to have to plant the seeds for those results. So when people are texting me or people are talking to me, and as many of you know, I see a lot of patients here, and I get texts and I get phone calls. And I don't mean to sound dismissive when I say, hey, focus on what you want. When I say focus on what you want, that's exactly what I mean. I don't mean anything else. I say it exactly the way I want you to think about it. If what you want is to move forward, then every day in every way you have to say, my life is getting better. What I want is this. What I want is this. And you have to, I'm always talking about using a blue pen and white paper and reading certain things and listening to certain things. I send the videos. In fact, I make videos for many things. I have people read specific books. I send the YouTube videos. I tell them to join this particular club or take these specific classes. But sometimes what people do is they keep perpetuating the issue that's causing these same emotions, and the issue is dragging. When you really love someone, I get it. I've been in love for a long time, and it would break my heart if something happened. And I get it. When you're in love, that your world revolves around that person. But at the end of the day, we are each responsible for our own lives. We are responsible for our own feelings. And we are responsible for how we're going to react to certain events. If this has been a rough year for some of you, then you have the power to turn it all around. A few months ago, I had a little fender bender. And I made a video about it. I'm not going to go too much into it right now. But what I will say was the girl that, and everything's resolved, everything's perfect, and she's happy and I'm happy, everything's cool, and no one got hurt. The girl whose car that I had hit going a mile an hour backwards, I had depended on my sensors. I no longer depend on my sensors. She ran out of her store that she worked at, and she came at me like a pit bull. And I said this in my other video, but I'm going to share this here for a reason. She came out like a pit bull, and I was like, and she attacked me verbally. I mean, she was just like, did you hit my car? And she just went off. And I was very friendly and forthcoming, and I said, yes, I did. I'm very sorry. I left my information on there. And she was shocked at how calm and respectful and how approachable I was. And she just kind of melted. And I looked at her and I said, I'm so sorry. And she had, I remember what it was like to be in my 20s. And I remember what it was like to not be able to stay stable and have it could have been that time of the month. It could have been, I don't know, but she thought I was going to come back at her in an attacking mode. But I chose to respond kindly because, of course, it was a little bumper issue, it was resolved with money and, taking it to a car place. But I think she was really taken aback at how calm I was and how friendly I was. In fact, the whole process, she was like, thank you for being so, what was the term she used? She said, thank you for being so cooperative. As if the situation weren't a reverse, that I wouldn't want someone else to be cooperative. And I remember looking at her, and I literally said this because she was just in a bad place. Like, it wasn't just the bumper. She wasn't even in the car. No one was in her car. I could tell she was having a bad life. And she melted and she said, I looked at her and I did say these words. I said, I'm really sorry I fucked up. I just said it like that. And she looked like she just wanted to cry because I knew it wasn't the bumper. She doesn't know what I do for a living. But just saying that, it was almost like I just had this urgent feeling that I needed to say something to her that was just going to apologize for all the crap that was going on, just by the way she approached me. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. Because if she was stable, she would have come out and be like, hey, dude, I saw you hit my car. I hope you left your stuff out, because that would have been the cool thing to do. Not come at me like a pit bull, like a red zone pit bull. And once I had told her my apology, she just literally melted. And she said, she wanted to just full on have a breakdown. She said, I've just had the worst year. And so from that point on, I was super friendly with her, and she was receptive towards everything I had to give her. And it's almost like that whole time I felt like I was supposed to, my son had turned off the sensor, and it taught me a lesson to not depend on my sensors anymore. And nothing happened to my car. That whole time I thought, during that, it took about 4 or 5 days to resolve everything. I felt like I was going through that experience with her because I felt like if anyone was going to hit her car, I had to hit her car. Because someone at the level of patience I have right now needed to just be there for her and just say, it's all right. Whatever you're going through in life, it's all right. Because, and I wanted to throw that in here because the complaining that people are giving me, I just want to tell each and every one of you, I get it and I'm here to listen, but the continual complaining will get you nowhere except more reasons to complain. Life is going to give you more issues to complain about. You will attract nothing else but more things to complain about. Your planting complaining seeds will give you more issues to complain about. Does that make sense? So if you look at most of my posts, I use the word amazing a lot, and maybe I overuse it, but really that's how I feel. So many things in my life are amazing. And if you saw the things that I see, and I don't even work in an ER, I don't work in an ICU, I don't work in NICU, I'm an acupuncturist. People walk in for the most part and walk out. Some of them have, quite a few of them have serious health issues. But if you saw the things I see, and if you see the things that I research on, you would say, wow, my life is really damn good. I have legs. I have a beating heart. I'm not on dialysis. I'm not having a mental breakdown today. I have clean underwear. I'm eating today. I have money today. I have a car that works. I have a roof over my head. I have someone that loves me. I have kids that I love. I mean, every day I have my kids say, what are you thankful for? And I'll ask my 8-year-old, and she's so programmed, my kids are so programmed to think of things, new things, what to be grateful for. Because the highest forms of gratitude. The highest forms of vibration are love and gratitude. And I talk about vibration and frequency frequently because that's what I do as an acupuncturist. And if you're an acupuncturist, you better be focusing on this stuff. And this is some of the stuff that I'm going to be teaching professionally as a marketer for acupuncture. You have to be in a strong vibration. I said this in one of my other videos. Today, I will vibrate at a very high level and have a positive impact on everyone and everything that I come to interaction with. Today I will vibrate at a very high level and have a positive impact on every person that I interact with. By doing so, I increase my self-worth and my net worth. Today, meaning right now, I will vibrate at a very high level, which means I'm going to vibrate very strong. I'm going to be focusing on gratitude and love, and I'm going to have a positive vibration and a positive impact on every person, everything, every creature that I interact with, whether that's one-on-one, whether that's a pet, whether that's on Facebook, whether that's on my YouTube videos, whether that's on, Instagram, whether it's an email, a text, a phone call, however I communicate with people and however I'm reached out to people are going to feel my vibration and really positively respond to it. And by doing so, I increase my self-worth and my net worth, which means I'm focusing on me, putting out the information that I want, the energy that I want to give, because I know energy is going to be a boomerang. I want to get the same amazing, if not better amazing things in return. I increase my self-worth, my self-esteem, my self-worth, my self-knowledge, my self-awareness, and my net worth. Myself comes before any wealth that I can possibly think about and attract, because you can't go chasing money or whatever things you're hunting for and sustain that living or sustain what you're getting unless you work on yourself first. So let's say if a lover is what you want, you better be that person that you want to be in love with. If you want to plant apple seeds, you better expect apples. You will not get oranges. If what you want is, bok choy, then you better plant whatever you need to plant bok choy. If you want rice, you better plant the things required to plant rice. Don't expect to plant mud and more mud and more mud and expect to get a lotus. And a lotus will still only grow if there are seeds in the mud for a lotus. I hope all this is making sense. And in my next video that I'll be talking about specifically on how to stop complaining and how to focus on other things. But if you're not interested in the how, I hope you take at least this video. One of my other videos that I said I was going to make was about accepting the right now. And that is a key element. You know what? I get it. If someone's broken up with you and broke your heart, broke your dreams, broke everything you can possibly, want from that person, I get it. It's heartbreaking. But when you see me send a text saying, focus on what you want, you give that person power by complaining about that person. You give that person power by saying how shitty they were to your life. You give that person power by focusing on all the bad stuff they did. You give all the negative energy in the world, in the universe, power, by not looking at the positive things around you. And some of my patients are very beautiful and very handsome, and there can be other beautiful and handsome people all around you just wishing for a moment with you, just to talk with you, give you their phone number, ask you for their phone number. But as long as you're focusing on all the bad things that are happening to you, you cannot see those people. If you keep looking for all the, yellow stuff in your life, but what you want is red, then how are you going to see the red if you're looking at the yellow stuff? You know what I'm saying? You can't see all the positive people around you that want to give you love if you keep looking at the negative stuff. So I get it. It is very easy to complain because it's natural for all of us, because misery loves company. We love to complain. I go everywhere all day long. I'm a mom. I drive everywhere. And I listen to people complain all day long, wherever I go. Not just because people come here and my job is to listen to complaining, because that's my job. I'm supposed to listen to people complain. But I go everywhere. I go to Albertsons, I go to Whole Foods, I go to Starbucks, I go to the library, I go everywhere, and I will hear someone bitching and complaining. I was at a restaurant not less than a month ago. I was at Plumeria, one of my favorite restaurants, and I was there this morning for breakfast. And this woman had the audacity to eat there, have her breakfast, and tell the manager how their food is good, but you guys don't know how to cook eggs. And she demanded that he give her a refund. And she had the audacity to get the refund and enjoy her food. Sit there. You know what? If you're going to complain, and I was a server for many, many, many years, if you're going to sit there and complain, don't eat their food. And she told him three times, she demanded a refund, and she said, I'm going to post this on social media. She said that when I sat down in the middle of my meal and towards the end. She kept telling this manager how bad of a restaurant it is. The food is good. She kept saying that. The food is good, but you guys can't get your eggs right. And then she demanded that the food be corrected, and she got her food, and she still demanded for the money to be refunded, and the manager willingly gave the money. And she was so upset that 3 times or 2 or 3 times it was like 11 something dollars. She was nickel and diming her and she had to do the math for him, and she kept saying, you can't even do the math right. And I'd love to say that was the only time I've heard complaints like this, but I've seen a few of those. And they kept demanding for more coffee. The husband had his face in a newspaper because apparently this woman does that a lot, because trust me, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I was just witnessing this, and when they left, after the 3rd time she said, I'm going to post this on social media, I looked at the server, I looked at the manager, and I said, you guys are doing an excellent job. I'm here like 1 to 2 times a week, and I love you guys, and the food is excellent, and you guys get your eggs right, and don't let that person ruin your day. And then they chased me down the parking lot to give me a coupon, which was a free meal. They said we were going to give this to that woman, but then we realized we really should give this to you. Plant the correct seeds, and the results you want will be exactly what you want. Focus on what you're saying and have more awareness. I was that person who used to complain a lot, and it got me nowhere. And it's taken a lot of work, a lot of personal development classes, and a lot of training to have a better attitude. Have an attitude of gratitude. You cannot complain and gain at the same time. You just can't. So, that doesn't mean don't voice your opinion, but if you're going to think something and you're going to complain about something, then you better do something about it. But if you're just complaining about it, then you will get nothing in return except more things to complain about. So that is my public service of the day, my public service announcement of the day. If you need to complain, you can always call me. But now you know where I stand regards to complaining. So I hope that you focus on love and gratitude so you will get more results from planting seeds of love and gratitude. All right, have a great day.